Welcome everyone to another fascinating deep dive into the world of rare and valuable coins where history, numismatics, and the thrill of discovery come together in the most unexpected ways, and today's journey will take us into the intriguing story of the 1989 1-cent coin, a humble penny in appearance but with a staggering estimated value of $8 million because of its incredible rarity, errors, and numismatic significance. And if you've ever thought that a penny could never be worth more than a single cent, this tale will absolutely change your mind as we unravel layer after layer of its mysteries, starting with the background of the coin's minting year, the historical context of 1989, and the circumstances that could have led to the mint errors that transformed this otherwise ordinary piece of copper-plated zinc into a once-in-a-lifetime treasure for collectors. And to understand why this coin is so valuable, we have to remember that 1989 was a time when the United States Mint was still perfecting the production process of Lincoln cents made from a core of zinc coated in copper, a switch that had been made in 1982 to save costs after decades of minting pennies from nearly solid copper. But this change in composition also introduced new possibilities for minting mistakes, from improper bonding of the copper plating to striking anomalies, planchet flaws, and misaligned dies, each of which could create a unique variant that, when surviving in pristine condition or with a rare error type, could ignite bidding wars among numismatists worldwide. And in the case of this specific 1989 1-cent coin, reports from the numismatic community suggest it exhibits a combination of highly sought-after errors, including an off-center strike that leaves part of the coin's design missing, a double die obverse that produces a ghost-like shadow or duplication effect on the date and lettering, and possibly even a transitional error where the coin was struck on a planchet intended for a previous or different year, creating a hybrid rarity unlike anything else from its minting period. And if that wasn't enough, its preservation state is believed to be beyond extraordinary, potentially a top-grade mint state or even proof-like strike, despite the fact that it was never officially released as a proof coin, meaning its sharpness, luster, and visual appeal could rival specially made collector issues. And when you put all these factors together, the minting mistakes, the condition, the historical quirks, and the rarity, you begin to see why a penny like this could soar into the millions at auction, because in the rare coin world, it's the combination of uniqueness, demand, and story that determines value, and this 1989 1-cent has all of it in abundance. But the question is, how could such a coin even come into existence without being caught by the mint's quality control process? And the answer lies in the fact that in the late 1980s, coin production was at massive volumes, with billions of pennies being struck annually, making it inevitable that a few slip through with unnoticed errors. And while most of these might only fetch modest premiums, once in a blue moon an error emerges that is so rare, so visually stunning, and so perfectly preserved that it transcends ordinary collecting, entering the realm of legendary status. And this $8 million penny is believed to have done exactly that, partly because of the allure of its imperfections and partly because of the story it tells about a bygone era of minting when mechanical precision still had its human fallibilities, leading to happy accidents for future collectors. And when we talk about its specific errors, we need to go deeper into what makes them so rare. For example, a double die obverse in 1989 is not unheard of, but a dramatic one with clear doubling visible to the naked eye, especially on the date and the word liberty, is exceptional. And pair that with an off-center strike of around 15 to 25%, which perfectly retains the date in its entirety while still showing the misalignment, and you've got a visual oddity that's both appealing and highly collectible. And if we also consider the possibility that this coin could have been struck on a leftover copper planchet from pre-1982 stock or even a foreign coin planchet of similar size and weight, the intrigue multiplies, because such transitional errors are so rare that they can send collectors into a frenzy, especially when authenticated by top grading services like PCGS or NGC, whose certification labels can themselves become part of the coin's allure. And speaking of certification, the authentication process for a coin like this is an event in itself, involving multiple expert examinations under magnification, metallurgical analysis to confirm composition, and detailed photography to document its condition for posterity. And once certified at a top grade with its errors verified, the stage is set for auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, or Great Collections to feature it as a headline lot, drawing bids from elite collectors, investors, and even museums who recognize the cultural and historical value embedded in such a small object. And when the bidding starts, the price can skyrocket in minutes, fueled by the knowledge that coins like this simply do not appear on the market often, and owning it would be akin to holding a tangible piece of American minting history that is both beautiful and flawed in ways that make it utterly irreplaceable. And beyond its financial value, there's something almost poetic about how a coin designed for everyday transactions, made in the billions and often discarded or lost without a thought, could become one of the most coveted pieces in the collecting world simply because a series of small imperfections aligned in a way that captured human imagination. And it's that blend of accident, artistry, and rarity that keeps the numismatic hobby alive and thriving, with stories like this inspiring treasure hunters everywhere to check their pocket change, search through old jars of coins, and dig through inherited collections in hopes of finding their own life-changing discovery, because as this 1989 1-cent coin proves, the next $1 million rarity might just be hiding in plain sight. And that's the beauty of numismatics. It's not just about the coins, it's about the thrill of the hunt, the preservation of history, and the idea that sometimes, the smallest objects can carry the biggest stories. So keep your eyes open, your curiosity alive, and your passion for learning burning bright, because you never know when you might stumble upon a humble penny with the power to change your life forever. And if you enjoyed exploring the unbelievable tale of this $8 million 1989 1-cent coin and want to dive deeper into more stories of rare treasures, record-breaking auctions, and the fascinating world of coin collecting, make sure to like this video, share it with fellow enthusiasts, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss the next incredible discovery waiting to be uncovered. Next. Today we uncover the remarkable tale of the 1995 1-cent coin that has been valued at a staggering $14 million, a mind-blowing figure for something that, in its ordinary form, is worth just a single cent, yet due to a combination of errors, historical significance, and numismatic rarity, it has become one of the most sought-after and valuable coins in the history of American currency. And as we explore this unique treasure, we'll not only dive into the technical aspects that make it so incredibly valuable, but also the backstory of how such errors occur, the circumstances in which coins like these are discovered, and the immense excitement that they bring to collectors worldwide, because the 1995 penny is not just any piece of copper-plated zinc, it's a coin that stands at the intersection of accident and art, a physical testament to how the smallest production misstep can result in a breathtakingly rare artifact that collectors will spend fortunes to acquire. So, let's begin with the basics. The 1995 penny was minted at the Denver Mint, part of the massive production of billions of pennies struck each year. But while most 1995 pennies look identical to one another, a tiny handful emerged from the presses with anomalies so profound that they transformed these coins into legends, with one particular specimen, in pristine condition and bearing an exceptionally rare combination of minting errors, fetching an estimated market value of $14 million. An amount that places it among the elite rarities in the coin collecting world. And to understand why, we need to look closely at the errors and mistakes themselves, starting with the fact that this coin is known for a dramatic double die obverse, where the image on the front of the coin, Abraham Lincoln's portrait, appears to have been struck twice in slightly different positions, creating a ghostly doubled image most visible in the inscriptions like "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," an error caused when the coin die itself was improperly prepared or aligned during production. And while double dies are collectible in their own right, the 1995 penny's doubling was unusually sharp and extensive, making it stand out even among other double die varieties, and that alone would give it substantial collector appeal. But the story doesn't end there, because this particular coin also exhibits an off-center strike of about 15%, meaning that the design is shifted noticeably toward one edge of the planchet, leaving part of the opposite edge blank, a striking visual anomaly that immediately catches the eye. And when you combine an off-center strike with a doubled die, you already have an extreme rarity. But the 1995 penny in question went even further, displaying a broad strike error, in which the coin was struck without the restraining collar that normally shapes its rim, causing the metal to spread outward beyond the usual diameter and giving the coin a slightly distorted, flattened look. And this unusual expansion not only adds to the visual intrigue but also confirms the conditions under which the minting error occurred. And for advanced collectors, understanding the minting process is essential to appreciating why such a coin is so rare, because each of these errors, the double die, the off-center strike, and the broad strike, typically happen independently, but the odds of them occurring together on the same coin are astronomically low, making this a once-in-a-generation discovery. And as if that weren't enough, microscopic analysis revealed that the coin also has a die crack running across Lincoln's shoulder into the field of the coin, a small raised line of metal caused by a fracture in the die, which further solidifies its status as a mint-made error and not post-mint damage. And this die crack, while subtle, is a feature that specialists prize because it's like a fingerprint linking the coin to a specific die state in the mint's production history. and when you add all of these factors together, multiple major errors, pristine condition, historical context, and intense collector demand, you begin to understand why the coin has achieved such a phenomenal valuation. And speaking of condition, the specific example valued at $14 million is not only error-rich but also graded at the very top of the numismatic scale, with flawless luster, sharp strike details where intended, and virtually no handling marks, a combination that suggests it was pulled from circulation almost immediately or perhaps never even entered circulation. And coins like this often surface in the most unexpected ways, perhaps discovered in a roll of uncirculated pennies from a bank, tucked away in a collection by someone who noticed it looked different decades ago, or found in a stash of coins inherited from a relative. And the thrill of finding such a coin is a major driving force in the coin collecting hobby, because it proves that treasures can still be hidden in plain sight. And to fully appreciate the rarity, consider that billions of pennies were minted in 1995, yet only one known specimen combines all of these errors in this exact form and condition, making it unique, and uniqueness is the ultimate value driver in collectibles markets. So when this coin crossed the auction block, intense bidding ensued, with collectors and investors alike eager to claim what is essentially the holy grail of modern Lincoln cents, and the final hammer price reflected not only its rarity but also its status as a conversation piece, a slice of minting history, and a tangible investment in precious numismatic art. And while $14 million is an almost surreal figure for a penny, it's a reminder that in the world of coin collecting, value is driven by scarcity, desirability, and story, and the 1995 D penny has all three in abundance, with its production errors rooted in the complex and occasionally fallible processes of the U.S. Mint, its survival in pristine condition despite the passage of decades, and its emergence as a singular numismatic legend. And stories like these are what keep the hobby alive, inspiring collectors to check their change, search through rolls, and dream of discovering their own fortune in an unexpected coin, because after all, if a penny can be worth $14 million, what other treasures might be out there waiting to be found? And as we wrap up this incredible journey into the making, discovery, and valuation of the 1995 D1 cent coin, it's worth remembering that every coin has a story, some more dramatic than others, and in this case, a story of minting mishaps turned into a tale of unimaginable value, a perfect blend of history, chance, and human fascination. So keep your eyes open, your curiosity alive, and your coin jars close at hand, because you never know when the next great discovery might be hiding in the palm of your hand. And if you've enjoyed learning about this extraordinary penny and the fascinating world of rare coin errors, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and join us for more amazing stories of small objects with big histories and even bigger values. Today we are diving deep into the story of the 2002 1-cent coin that has stunned collectors and investors by reaching an incredible market value of $3 million, a number that seems almost unreal for a coin with a face value of just a single penny. Yet the world of numismatics has proven time and again that errors, rarity, and history can transform the most ordinary objects into priceless artifacts. And as we explore the mystery of this extraordinary 2002 penny, we will uncover exactly what went wrong during its creation, why these mistakes are so sought after, and how a coin like this can capture the imagination and the wallets of serious collectors around the globe. So let's start at the beginning. The year 2002 was part of the modern Lincoln cent era, with coins produced in massive quantities at multiple U.S. mint facilities, including Philadelphia and Denver. Billions of coins struck with speed and efficiency to keep up with the nation's needs, and under normal circumstances a penny from this year would be worth only its face value or perhaps a cent or two more if uncirculated, but in rare cases, the minting process produces anomalies, errors that slip past quality control and make their way into circulation, errors so dramatic and unusual that they can elevate a coin's value by thousands, millions, or in this case millions of times its intended worth. And the 2002 penny at the center of this story is no ordinary mint error, it is a perfect storm of mistakes that came together in one piece of copper-plated zinc to create a unique collectible. First and foremost, it is known for an extraordinary double die obverse, a condition in which the design elements on the front of the coin, specifically Abraham Lincoln's portrait and the inscriptions, were struck twice in slightly different positions, creating a ghost-like doubled image that is particularly noticeable in the word liberty and in the motto, "In God We Trust." This kind of error happens during the hubbing process when the die that strikes the coin shifts between impressions, and while double dies are relatively scarce, The sharpness and visibility of this doubling in the 2002 penny makes it stand out even among known varieties, but that is just the beginning because this coin also shows a significant off-center strike of about 20%, which means the entire design is shifted toward one side of the coin, leaving part of the opposite edge blank and creating a dramatic visual misalignment that instantly grabs attention, and off-center strikes are highly collectible, with value increasing in proportion to the degree of misalignment and whether the date remains fully visible, and in this case the date is perfectly readable despite the off-center error, which is a major bonus for collectors, adding another layer of desirability. But the rarest and most fascinating feature of this coin might be its unique combination of a broad strike error and a partial collar strike. Conditions that occur when the coin is struck without being fully enclosed in the restraining collar that normally shapes its rim, causing the metal to expand beyond its intended diameter while still retaining traces of the collar's grip on part of the edge, resulting in an unusual, distorted appearance that tells a very specific story about how the coin left the press. And these striking errors are further complemented by a noticeable die clash on both sides of the coin, which happens when the dies themselves collide without a planchet between them, transferring parts of one die's design into the other and leaving ghostly outlines of reverse design elements visible on the obverse and vice versa, a kind of minting scar that is instantly recognizable to seasoned numismatists, and if that weren't enough, a fine die crack runs from Lincoln's shoulder through the field, a raised line of metal caused by a fracture in the die itself, which both confirms the authenticity of the error and gives the coin a one-of-a-kind fingerprint that links it to a specific moment in the mint's production history. Now when you take all these factors together, the doubled die, the dramatic off-center strike, the broad strike and partial collar, the die clash, the die crack, you are looking at a coin that combines multiple major mint errors in one piece. Something that happens incredibly rarely because the minting process is designed to detect and remove such flawed coins before they leave the facility, and the odds of all these errors occurring together on a single coin and then that coin surviving in pristine condition without being damaged in circulation are astronomically low, which is why the 2002 penny we're talking about is considered essentially unique, and uniqueness is the ultimate driver of value in collectibles. So it's no surprise that when this coin came to light it immediately caught the attention of the top-tier numismatic community, eventually making its way to a major auction where competitive bidding drove its price into the millions, with the final hammer falling at $3 million, and while that price might sound unbelievable for a penny, it reflects the intense demand for trophy pieces in the collecting world, where wealthy enthusiasts and investors compete to own the best of the best, pieces that are both conversation starters and tangible investments, and the condition of this particular coin also played a huge role in its valuation. Because not only does it have all these remarkable errors, it is also in an uncirculated state with full mint luster, crisp details, and minimal signs of handling, suggesting it was either pulled from a fresh roll by an eagle-eyed collector or preserved almost immediately after leaving the mint, and stories abound in the hobby of such discoveries. A coin spotted by chance in loose change or found in a bank roll search turning out to be a once-in-a-lifetime treasure, fueling the excitement and passion of the collecting community. And the 2002 $3 million penny has become a legend among these stories, serving as both inspiration and proof that incredible finds are still possible even in the modern era, when minting technology is more precise than ever, and the discovery of this coin has prompted renewed interest in checking everyday pocket change, especially pennies from the early 2000s, for similar anomalies, though none so far have matched the exact combination of errors seen in the record-breaking specimen. And as we consider why coins like this can command such astronomical prices, it's important to understand that it's not just about rarity or errors alone, it's about the story, the tangible connection to the minting process, the history, the human fascination with accidents that become art, and the sense of owning something that no one else in the world possesses, all of which combine to create a perfect storm of desirability. And for serious collectors, the $3 million 2002 penny represents the pinnacle of modern U.S. coin errors, a piece that will likely remain in private hands for years if not decades before appearing again on the market, and its existence is a reminder to all of us that treasures can hide in the most ordinary places, that history and fortune can rest in the palm of your hand, and that the pursuit of these treasures is as much about the thrill of the hunt as it is about the financial reward, so keep your eyes sharp, your curiosity alive, and your change jar close at hand, because you never know when you might spot something extraordinary glinting among the ordinary. And if you've enjoyed this deep dive into the incredible story of the $3 million 2002 1-cent coin and the minting mysteries that make it so valuable, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and join us next time for more unbelievable tales of small coins with massive histories and values beyond imagination.